Hey everyone, today I wanted to talk about some great deals that are currently on the Steam Autumn Sale, and specifically on games that run absolutely amazingly on the Steam Deck. These deals are absolutely insane and are insane for a bang for your buck, and you'll be able to get absolutely great value out of all of the games offered here in this video, and even picking up one or two of them is going to provide you with hundreds of hours of content that is going to keep you very busy on your Steam Deck for a long time. Without further ado, let's get right into it. The first game on this list is a trilogy, so it's kind of cheating, but it's the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. This is probably the craziest deal and value out of any of the games on this list, with it being only $4.79 USD and being under $10 in pretty much every other currency. This is an absolutely insane deal, as you get three genre-defining games that are still absolutely excellent even today. I played these games through for the first time last year, and they've become some of my favorite, if not my favorite game series of all time. So if you haven't played Mass Effect Legendary Edition yet, here's your chance to do it now. The only problem that I can point out with Mass Effect Legendary Edition on the Steam Deck is the fact that it has DRM using the EA launcher, which is a bit annoying to fiddle around with, especially when it makes you sign in multiple times over and over again. But other than that, it runs absolutely amazingly at 60 FPS throughout the trilogy, and it's an amazing experience on the Steam Deck altogether. Now, the second game on our list is Hogwarts Legacy, which is at its historical low of just $18 at 70% off. This is a pretty good game, especially if you're a fan of the Harry Potter series. I played this one exclusively on my Steam Deck, and although you're going to have to fiddle around with some settings and probably lock it to 30 FPS like I did, it's still an absolutely fantastic experience on the Steam Deck. And although I wouldn't say I'd buy the game at full price, at a price of just $18, this game is definitely worth it, and you're going to get a lot of joy out of playing this game, especially if you're a Harry Potter fan. So if you haven't played Hogwarts Legacy, this is definitely your opportunity to do so, especially in the case if you're a big Harry Potter fan. The third game on our list is Persona 5 Royal, and although I haven't personally finished or completed the game for myself, I have put a considerable amount of hours into the game on my PlayStation, and have tried to use it on the Steam Deck as well, and it runs absolutely phenomenally. A game like Persona 5 Royal is essentially built for the Steam Deck. With you being able to make the Steam Deck go to sleep, you can cut it up into different sections, which is definitely needed for a huge game like this, and the sleep functionality of the Steam Deck makes this a fantastic experience on the Steam Deck, and at a price of just $24 at 60% off, I can't say too many bad things about this game. And if you're a fan of JRPGs especially ones that are long and have great turn-based combat, Persona 5 Royal is definitely for you. Now, the fourth game on our list is quite an old one, and it's one that I finally played for the first time earlier this year, and that is the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, specifically the Special Edition, which is only $10 at 75% off. This is an insane deal with the amount of content you're going to get with this game just in the base game, and if you know anything about Skyrim or Bethesda games in general, you know that this game has a gigantic modding community, which adds absolutely fantastic mods that literally add expansions to the game in terms of story, dialogue, and weapons. So you're going to get a lot of replayability out of this game. I for myself have played one playthrough, but I have also modded the game on the Steam Deck, and it runs even amazingly with those mods. So I definitely recommend, if you haven't played Skyrim yet, or you want to replay Skyrim, picking it up for your Steam Deck for just $10 is an absolutely insane deal, especially with all the content you get with the base game, and even more so if you pick up some mods as well. There's not much I can really say that hasn't already been said about the fifth game on our list, and that is God of War 2018, which is just $20 at 60% off. There's really not much I can say here other than just buy the game if you haven't played God of War for yourself, especially with the fact that God of War Ragnarok is now on Steam as well. So when you finish with this game, and if you really did enjoy it like the majority of people and myself, you're going to pick up God of War Ragnarok and absolutely enjoy that as well. This is an insane deal, and I can't really say much about it, except that it runs absolutely phenomenally on the Steam Deck like all the other previous games I mentioned, and it's one of the first games I ever tested on my Steam Deck. And if you want a cinematic game with great combat, God of War is definitely the way to go. Now, the sixth game on our list is one of the most popular roguelikes of all time, and that's Hades. Hades is just $10 at 60% off, which is again an amazing deal, and you're going to get so much content out of this game due to the fact that it's a roguelike. If you haven't played a roguelike and this is your first one, if you're interested, every time you play the game, you have a run, and when you die, you reset back to the beginning, and you keep going as you learn the game and get further and further into your run. And Hades is one of the most compelling examples of a roguelike done properly, and other than Risk of Rain 2, Hades is probably my favorite roguelike out there. So if you haven't played Hades for yourself, or you're just interested in a game that you can just pick up and play whenever you want, Hades is definitely the game for you. Now the 7th game is another one that I played exclusively on the Steam Deck, and that is Mad Max, which has an insane deal, being $1.99 at 90% off. So if you haven't played Mad Max yet, I definitely implore you to pick it up. As for just $2, there's nothing that's going to go majorly wrong if you pick up the game and don't like it. It's a great open world, even though it's pretty stereotypical by open world standards, and even if you haven't watched the Mad Max films like I haven't, you're still going to absolutely enjoy this game, and I enjoyed every moment of playing this game. It's quite a unique open world as well, as the wasteland is an amazing landscape to traverse, and the companion, which is essentially your car that you build up, reminds me of the mechanic of Red Dead Redemption 2 and its horse. So if you haven't played Mad Max yet, I definitely think you should pick it up, especially if you're a fan of open world games, and not to mention the fact that the game runs at 60 FPS consistently throughout every moment you play it on the Steam Deck. So it's a great contender for something open world on the Steam Deck. Now moving on to the 8th game on our list, this is another monumental game, Resident Evil 4 Remake. This is just $20 at 50% off, and this is of course an incredible deal as well. If you haven't played Resident Evil 4 for yourself yet, what are you doing? I definitely recommend that you pick this game up, as it's an amazing experience that definitely holds up today, especially with the remake factor. This is probably my favorite out of the Resident Evil remakes, so if you've played Resident Evil 2 or 3 remake, Resident Evil 4 remake is definitely for you. And if you haven't played any Resident Evil remake or no Resident Evil games at all, this is definitely a great entry point into the series. Resident Evil 4 Remake retains everything well that the original did, and is an absolutely stellar game even today. So I truly cannot recommend this enough, especially with the fact that it runs like butter on the Steam Deck at an amazing 40 FPS lock, or if you want to tweak with the settings a little bit more, you might be able to even get it to 60 FPS, which is absolutely phenomenal. Now, the 9th and 10th games on our list are kind of cheating because they're both collections or bundles of games, but they're incredible deals that I just cannot exclude from the video. The first one is the Batman Arkham Collection, and oh man, there's not much I can say about this series that hasn't already been said. Every single game in this collection is absolutely incredible and is superb in every right, from gameplay to story to the environments. This trilogy is one of the best gaming trilogies out there, and especially in the case if you're a fan of Batman or just comic book heroes in general, this is definitely the greatest trilogy of superhero games ever made, and at just $9 at 85% off, there's nothing you can go wrong with here. And so if you still haven't played the Batman Arkham Trilogy in 2024, you should definitely pick it up, as all of them run amazingly on the Steam Deck at 60 FPS for every single game in the series, and it's just a phenomenal deal overall. Now, wrapping up with our 10th game, which is also a bundle, that is the Middle-earth Shadow Bundle, which is just $7 at 90% off. I played both of these games a few years ago, but I tried to replay them on the Steam Deck and they run amazingly on there, both of them at 60 FPS. Although for the second game, you might have to tinker a little bit of things around in order to get that 60 FPS, but they run amazingly, they look amazing, and I definitely recommend that you pick these games up if you haven't played them already. The main draw with these games is something called the Nemesis system, and I don't want to go into it too much, but it's something that you're going to have a lot of fun with, and it adds a lot of replayability into the game, especially if you enjoy great open world games with great exploration, and especially if you love Lord of the Rings and just the general franchise there. These games are probably the best Lord of the Rings games ever made. Anyway, that's all from me for today's video. I hope you all did enjoy this video. I hope you will pick up some of the games in this list and enjoy them to its fullest, as each one of them can provide you hundreds of hours of content at just such a cheap price, with many of these being just under $10. Anyway, that's it from me for today's video. Hope to see you all in the next one. Peace.